You guys are going to watch that the whole time.
So it's been bothering me that all these cloth masks don't have anything that hugs it to your nose.
Ours does.
And I was trying to think, what could you do? And you came up with it.
Well, we use two things. We recommend, all of it's in the instructions. We recommend either taking tinfoil, take a 12 by 8 piece, fold it in half so it's 12 by 4, and then you start putting out and you roll it up and then you slide it. Or you cut out a tin, pie tin, 4 by 1.
Oh.
Or like, a turkey roasting pan.
Yeah.
We're talking masks, Brier.
My apologies.
Taking tinfoil, take a 12 by 8 piece, fold it in half so it's 12 by 4. How come I still hear my voice?
I don't know.
That's Cynthia.
4 by 1.
Oh.
Or like,
That's Cynthia.
Yeah.
I think that's a photo.
It is.
Sorry, I will be right back again. We have
How are you, neighbor?
Cynthia?
I want to know how people move along the screen. That always fascinates me.
How you move along the screen?
Don't people?
I have no idea.
My screen changes. People move in and out.
Yeah, mine is too. Well,
Yeah, mine too. It's when people pop out and pop in, it rearranges us.
right, but it has to do with your voice. It makes you pop in and out
Oh, if
when you
you're
speak.
yes, if you're on speaker view, then the person who's talking gets larger and everybody else moves to the smaller screen. But if you do it gallery view, you can see everyone.
That's what I have.
That's
the
what I'm
gallery
doing.
view.
I'm doing
do?
gallery view.
Yeah.
Ah,
I don't
okay.
like when the person speaking gets huge.
I don't either.
I'd rather have it
I want to see everybody at once.
Yeah.
Like what is it? The Brady Bunch? Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch, we're supposed to look around like you can see. So like I'm looking at Donna, and then I'm looking at Cynthia.
Well, but we're in different locations, so we are.
Jeff, I'm looking at Jeff's gone. And I'm looking at Jake.
okay. I think we're good now.
We've been entertaining ourselves.
You forgot to say talk amongst yourselves, but we're very
But we're good at that.
Yeah, no problems. What is he up to?
I was just posting how people can get here.
Oh, okay.
So we should be all set.
Oh, I gotta go
Cynthia,
on.
welcome. How is everybody?
Great.
Good. Long
Sorry,
day.
I gotta go check in. I gotta say that I'm here.
Okay.
Via my phone.
Lisa, were you just showing the mask template?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Ooh,
that.
okay.
Nice. I
Oh,
like
their
that.
skulls. I have the perfect person for that mask.
Somebody told me it was macabre and I shouldn't wear it, and I said,
No, she would
you
wear
know
it.
what the skull and crossbones stands for in Roman history? Memento mori is really about living the best life you can. And when you're stuck home like this and people are like waiting for it to end, I say, don't wait for it to end. Embrace it. Get something done.
I like that.
Very good. No, I have a friend who loves skulls and crossbones. She puts them on her golf balls and everything. She's got a golf bag with a skull. They're like psychedelic skulls all over her bag.
Because my fabricator, who you guys both know, Bruce, I was wearing my other one, which I'll show you, which is blue bugs. And he says to me, he always says he has no taste and not to listen to what he says and I should choose all the stuff. And I say, what do you think? He's like, I'm not a designer, I'm a fabricator. And he looked at me in my blue and he goes, that really doesn't suit you. So I got this one. I got an animal print I bought at the store too.
I saw it looks like some big orders are coming in. It's good.
Yep, it's working.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the thing with Jim Brody and Marjorie. I screwed it up so badly because I didn't give the email, and it's so hard for people to find us online, but they're finding us. You guys remember Casa Fabrics from here in Barrington?
Yep.
Don remembers it. It was on Maple Avenue. It's a house up at the corner of the lot where Economy Ornamental goes down right there. There's a house to the right, and it was a fabric store. So she doesn't have a computer that works, and she doesn't have a sewing machine that works. So she called her friend, said, I heard this lady, you got to find these people on Facebook. She sent me a message, said, please call me. I call up. It's the friend's friend. And she says, I used to live in Barrington. I had Casa Fabrics. I've got a stockroom full of fabric that I'm going to go through. What do you want?
Oh,
And I said,
wow.
How great.
She's going through her fabric. She's asking me all these questions. Lovely lady, Jean. And she said, I don't have a working sewing machine, but I sew, but my sewing machine's broken. She said, I don't have a working computer. My computer's broken, so I can't find the pattern on Facebook. She said, but I have a stockroom full of fabric, so I'll give you some, but I want to sew too. So we have people constantly, but in particular from the show yesterday, we had people offer sewing machines because we have it all set up on our website. What can you offer to help us with? And so we have 2 sewing machines that are waiting. So hopefully one of them will be close enough, and we'll get it to Jean, and then Jean will be able to start sewing for us on Casa Fabrics. How cool is that?
Awesome.
No, we're cooking with gas, and people are also asking questions. And the thing I said in WGBH was I explained the science behind masks and why it works, and as opposed to just shamelessly plugging. At least I could have given a working email address. That was just against to say. But anyway, I explained how the masks work, and we got doctors contacting us and saying, those are the masks we want, we'll pay for them, we're not at risk, we don't treat COVID patients, we want the masks, dermatologists and stuff, we don't need to give them to them. But we want to give them to people who get minimum wage and work in nursing homes.
Right.
Yeah. And people are not wearing appropriate masks there. They have those pleated masks with the big gaps on the sides that don't the person wearing them. And they have those elastics around the ears that are making they have to wear it all day, and they itch them and
they get terribly painful, those straps. I have a friend who works at Brigham as an IV nurse, and she has been taking rubber bands and paper clips and moving the earpiece from the back of people's ears to the back of their head.
Can we get her?
Because their ears are killing them.
Oh, I know. I see it. I see people
They're painful
behind.
Because they have to wear them too many hours. They're wearing them 12, 13, 14 hours a day.
That's why I like that Lisa's tie behind
the head.
around the ear.
Mm.
Yeah, Annie mentioned that she saw your sign at Shaw's. Right where you stand when you're walking to be let in, there's a sign.
I went over to Mrs. Medeiros and I said, this is a nonprofit. It's a public service. You want people wearing good masks when they come in your store, not making your people sick. Don't you think we can put this up? And she's like, yes, yes, yes. But what I really want to do is I have to go over to her, and I've told people this, but I have to put a letter around town and say, if your staff is dealing with the public, they should be wearing these masks, and we'll give them to you for half price, because that covers our costs, and it's a public service. But there's just not enough hours in the day. I finally broke down. I found a friend of my intern, Ems Votis, who for $25 an hour is going to finish the site that I started. So I think she can finish it in 4 hours. It's worth it. I can't get it done. Anyway, I'm monopolizing the conversation with my mask nonsense.
Donna, is Sprout open?
Sprout is open. We're open for members 24/7, but the desk is only mandated Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 now. So we're on reduced hours. But once you become a member, you have access 24/7.
What is it?
It's a co-working space in Warren.
Oh, the one before the pizza place.
Yep. We have 2 locations, one in Warren, one in Providence.
I haven't been in the Providence one, but I drive by it all the time. Looks like a good location, right? Right, like in Davos Square?
No, we're actually on Valley Street.
Although I'm working from Barrington now, seeing everybody over video conferencing now.
Are you
How's
seeing?
that going?
Yeah, you're seeing a big up.
You know, I mean, I'm really grateful to have a job that can turn into a virtual job, but it's exhausting to do this kind of work through this medium. It's not natural. It's not what I was trained to do. I often feel like I'm kind of, you know, constructing the plane while in flight. So it's tiring. I'm looking forward to eventually getting back to live in-person interactions with humans.
Do you think it will be a challenge to perceive what someone's saying to you if you're in person but you're wearing a mask?
It's something that I'm very worried about, actually, because I noticed in the phase 1 of the reopening Rhode Island, they reference behavioral therapists. And a lot of us have started to kind of talk about whether or not we feel like video conferencing is probably superior to in-person with masks. Because, I mean, without sort of visual facial expression cues, plus kind of the inherent anxiety that people feel when they're in proximity to one another after having been remote for so long. I mean, there's a lot of chatter going on among therapists about whether or not it really makes sense for us to be part of that phase 1 period of time. Not only that, but many people in the workforce in our position are people who are of vulnerable age and health conditions, and a lot of the people that we work with are vulnerable health conditions too. So,
or they're asymptomatic carriers, like troubled adolescents.
Right. And I can't speak for everyone, but my office that I have in Providence is small, and remaining 6 feet apart is not going to be all that feasible.
Facing each other, talking the whole time.
Right. Not only that, but I was talking to a therapist today, and we were talking about, the liability issues associated with opening back up. Like, so say somebody comes in and catches it, because we can't sort of clean the space well enough in between clients, would our liability insurance cover something like that? So I know that we're all being very, kind of making it up as we go along, but I have some significant concerns about that.
I imagine there are probably some people who would benefit from the in-person, but I think for a lot of the reasons you say, hopefully there's the flexibility too. I mean, they're not going to say, okay, it's open now, you have to go practice from your office. But
no.
The requirement for full reimbursement.
That's the issue.
Insurance, right?
That's the issue. So right now, during the state of emergency, insurance companies are required to compensate us the same for video sessions that we would have for in-person sessions. But once that's lifted, the question becomes, like, do you stick with video conferencing and take a pay cut in order to keep yourself and your clients safe, or do you feel sort of coerced into having to see somebody live and in person because that's what you'll be paid for? So
started, which was unusual. People from New York called me today and said, "Wow, your governor is really on top of things." She set up a business task force to decide about reopening. I mean, you guys are a business too,
right?
You have to push, and she's listening.
Yes. Well, a number of us have written to her in the last few days, and the Rhode Island Psychological Association and the American Psychological Association are going to also be kind of, coming up with guidance around this. So I think she is good at listening to those kinds of things. And so I'm hopeful that, that there'll be discussion about it and not just kind of, she doesn't strike me as sort of a black and white thinker about most things. So
I think also she's looking for input from the protagonists. If you say, we can do our jobs from home, she's going to be the first one who's going to say, well, then we want you home, because the last thing we need are extra.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Phase 1 and phase 2 both say if you can work from home, you should work from home.
Right.
And even phase 3 says that.
Right. Absolutely.
I think
But-
it's going to be.
The house again.
It's just the fact that they referenced that allied health professionals like physical therapists and behavioral therapists would be encouraged to reopen during phase one. That's the part that kind of got everybody like, what?
But
Well,
you never close.
Right.
I don't know that a physical therapist can be as effective without
Right.
being in the same room with the client.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh,
Probably not.
From
As somebody who's received a lot of physical therapy,
I was
I
thinking
can't
the same
imagine.
Right.
press on your own leg. Wait, it hurts. No, it's supposed to. Just keep pushing.
Right.
I'll just weigh in on the insurance piece that Cynthia raised, because that's a lot of discussion on that, because almost all the policies have exclusions for any type of communicable disease. So it's a big concern of a lot of organizations, a lot of nonprofits now, about if they open, summer camps are wrestling with this. What happens if kids get sick? Is there any protection for the camp, for the directors? Probably not.
Well, and here in Rhode Island, I mean, if we're not allowed to have gatherings of more than 50 people through the summer, I don't know how
Well,
summer
it's turned
camps
down
could
for
be
you.
contemplating opening anyway.
Yeah, you need to turn your volume up. Oh,
One of the things I do, I have multiple clients. I own my own business. And one of my clients, I'm the executive director of a street. And the street has lots of restaurants, retail. And my biggest fear is we're going to have a ghost town.
Yeah.
And, I fear losing half the businesses.
Which street is it, Donna?
I really don't want to
Mayor
say
Street.
because we're videotaping this, but it's a big fear. The rents are very, very high, and they can only go for so long, and you can't take a narrow walkway and narrow restaurants and say you can only put a third of the people in your restaurant. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the equivalent of the mall.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The new normal is not going to. I worry about it.
Do you know how many of the businesses on the street that you work with have accessed, small business loans and been able to get some support during this time?
I sent a survey out. I got some response, but they don't, because I work for the board and the board is property owners, they don't really want to, some of them know me and trust me, but some of them just really don't
Do they
want
consider
to.
it just privileged information that they don't want to share?
Yeah, I can see that. But it must make it hard when you're trying to support those businesses to kind of know what their needs are.
I've been sending daily emails. I listen to every Zoom meeting, Gina, Lieutenant Governor, David Cicilline, anybody who has anything with information, I watch, I summarize it, and I send a separate email. If there's really important things, it's easier just to forward, or I do a complete summary, and a lot of them have said that is just hugely helpful with links to everything, because they're trying to run a business. They're trying to figure out how to just stay alive. So if I can just kind of condense it and send it on its way to them, they said that has been hugely helpful.
Who else do you send it to? I want to get it.
I know, it sounds really useful.
It is just for the association. Sorry about that.
Can we join the association in order to access it?
You'd have to move
if
your
you-
business to the
You have to
street.
move your business and a percentage, and there's an
But I
additional
can't rent
tax.
the space because it's a lockdown. I can't rent, but I was willing to.
Well, we might have some openings. I'll let you know.
Right.
Hopefully
you're,
not.
You're muted. I can unmute you. Oh,
I did it for Dad because he has his own iPad, so we've got an echo going if one of us isn't muted.
Oh, yeah.
I know, it's amazing. You guys look like you're in two different rooms. It's like social distancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're literally sitting right next to each other. We are 6 feet apart, however.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Barely. Barely.
Do any of you?
Oh, now we see how it all works.
We're sitting in our den, actually. Together.
That's awesome.
Do any of you have kids in college?
And I have a freshman in college, but he's at Community College of Rhode Island, so it hasn't been a huge change.
Yeah. My son transferred this year from Roger Williams to RPI.
Right.
Big difference in tuition costs.
I
And now he's back home.
Mm.
And the rent and the tuition did not go down.
Huh.
Wow.
Interesting.
And the discount they gave us for quote unquote room and board was pitiful. And considering they made them leave and they're not feeding them, right? So you would assume that at least half the food allowance, because they let the
Right.
staff go who makes the food.
Right.
So, but they didn't give us, they gave us it was not even 25%. And they didn't even give it to us. They put it as a credit for next semester.
Oh.
And
They didn't give you the choice, Donna. They just defaulted to that.
They had the pot by
They
the
have the money, right?
But the worst part is these kids are taking out loans to go to the school. So they're paying interest on the loan that's now being put forward. So that's fine if it was a true credit, but it's not a true credit because the next semester for my son is a special semester. It's called Arch. He's supposed to be there over the summer. It's supposed to be a special program for rising juniors. And he's going to be at home. So there's not going to be any special program, but they're still having it. So what they decided to do, because the kids aren't there, so they don't need room and board, is they're decreasing all of the grant money that was given to the kids. So it's a double whammy because the credit for the food and room and board really isn't a credit because they're taking money away.
Jeez.
It's bad. It's really bad. And this is not the only university that's doing that.
They're doing it because they can. There's no precedent for this. Whoever sued the university for shutting down halfway through the year?
And as I said to my son,
Force majeure.
you can not go. You can defer. He goes, but then, Mom, I'm going to be a year behind, and I want to graduate. So it's all messed up. It's very, very sad because they're not getting the
I think you're
experience at
right,
college
though,
that they should be getting.
I think you're right. You're right. I counseled one of my interns. I don't have kids, but I have a lot of adopted kids, and they're all interns. And I counseled them through college choices and grad school. And one of them, I counseled to defer a year on med school. And I think and then I counseled her to take a year off during med school to study for her boards. She's, she wants to be a dermatologist. She comes from a very underprivileged background, and there are a lot of challenges. You know, they grade based on race in the sense that they try to do some aggressive balancing of the scoreboard. And I think you should insist with your son that he defer and do something really mathematical and stimulating for a year.
I want him to defer, but you know what? He is an adult now.
Oh yeah.
And we're having conversations, but at first he was kind of waffling, and now because he really hates online learning. He did a year of homeschooling in 8th grade where he did a lot of online learning and he just hated it, so he ended up going back. So this has not been good, considering that, he chose RPI for not just for multiple things, for the whole college experience. And
Right.
that degree is not going to be worth a regular RPI degree in my eyes. And I think a lot of
let's come up with some kind of opportunity for this young man. What's his name, Donna?
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang. Wolfie needs us. What can we figure out?
Wolfie doesn't want to need us. That's the problem.
Of course he does.
So
But if you can find something,
Like every young man that age.
Wolfie's doing just fine.
Yeah.
He got into this video game that beta program, and he's playing his guitar, and he's having studying. Not so much, because they gave him the pass-fail option. Yeah. Yeah. So he's like, Mom, I'm passing. I'm like, awesome. Yeah. That's why you're paying that amount of money to go to that school, to pass.
it sucks so badly for these kids. All the ones that are home in Barrington, I feel so badly for the ones who aren't going to have their graduations and all.
Yeah.
That's the only saving grace is he's not graduating. Because that would be really rough.
Petition going to delay graduation, and I signed it because I wanted to be supportive and too, just knowing that even if it's delayed till the end of August, it still can't happen.
No,
Yeah.
not in the way that that usually happens. I'm hoping that with extra time, they're going to come up with something that feels, special and honoring, and but it's not going to be what they were looking forward to all this time.
I think they should be allowed to possibly graduate with the next year if they wish to.
Well, that's
They want to walk across the aisle to get their diploma. It's not going to be the same, but at least they'll be able to have their family there, walk across the aisle, have the whole pomp and circumstance.
Or homecoming. Yeah, I don't know if that's late enough, but
Not going to be the same
No,
anyway,
it's
not the
though. And as somebody who I graduated from graduate school after I was doing my postdoc, and I flew back to Connecticut in order to participate in my graduation. It really wasn't the same as graduating with my class, and
Right.
and when I was
what
finished
if
with
everybody
school.
comes back, and then it's almost like a reunion.
Well,
Not everybody does come back.
and I've got to say, as somebody
No, a
who's
lot
got,
won't.
and as I got to say, as somebody who has a high school junior, I don't want their graduation to be watered down with that. I think it's going to be hard enough for them next year anyway, because there'll be a lot of kids who defer freshman year. And it will probably be harder for my daughter to get into college because she's then going to be competing with a lot of the people who are graduating this year. So I don't, I get the spirit of what you're saying, but it does seem like it has to be something separate from the class
the
next
next
year.
day or the next week.
Right, right.
Why couldn't they graduate just spread out more? I mean, we've got the way they handle graduation at Barrington. It's the whole football field.
Right.
You could literally space it out and have people walk one at a time, and just not have necessarily the bleachers being used.
right, so the families can't be there.
Well, I think I saw something that was posted maybe on the Facebook page for parents at the high school where kids and so their family, the kids and their families would come out one by one from the parking lot and walk across the stage and, get their diploma from the dignitary and all of that kind of stuff. But it wouldn't be with everybody in the bleachers. It would just be, you'd have your own special time where you got to go and have that experience. I mean, it seems watered down to me, but it's, if for you, the big thing is walking across the stage and getting your diploma in front of your family, it kind of satisfies that.
Nobody goes to Hot and gets drive-through.
Right. Right. Yes. Yes.
It's like a drive-through wedding in Las Vegas.
Yeah. The whole point is that you go to be there. It's not.
Right. Right.
Where'd you go to dinner? Capriccios. Yeah, we got takeout.
Or from
Is that
Oki,
not
the
happening?
hibachi takeout.
Yeah. Defeats the purpose.
I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm falling asleep. My
We're not that
bedtime, believe it or
entertaining.
We're
not.
not very scintillating, huh?
I'm sorry. No, I'm just old. What can I say?
No, you
You're,
can.
you're entitled then. Go to bed.
I good night.
Good night.
I'll get myself, there we go. I just saw it.
People are all poking each other in the eye now, right?
Oh my God,
People
so
do-
funny.
When do you ever see that?
So those were your parents, Jacob?
Yeah.
They're adorable.
Oh, thanks.
Where did
I
he
feel like
come from, right?
What?
I feel like we didn't give them much space to say very much, though.
That was my fault. They're used to it. They know me.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Then it's fine. It's like a normal evening then.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my friend. I am going to head out. I've been on Zoom meetings all day long.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
I think I enjoyed this. I think I will do it again. But I will do it mid-morning, early morning. Not like early morning. But
This is late.
yes,
Yeah.
no, it is. It is. This is
End of the
the
day.
time for a quick 15-minute me talking. I'll keep that going, but I think I'll do more of these like I was doing my coffee combos.
Very
Don-
cool.
The name
Well-
of the store again that you said?
The name of which store?
Donna, the name of the store that does the social stuff.
Oh, Impact Everything.
Oh, I missed that part of the conversation.
They're on Thayer Street. They also have an online store. They started online. The owners, a woman and a man who are now engaged to be married, they were both students at UConn, and they started this while they were in school.
Is it
Mm.
something that is on other places?
No, they have one brick and mortar on Thayer Street, but most of their business is online. They also build schools in Africa. So they take some of their profit and they put it into building schools.
Sweet.
They're good. They're a good pair. They do good things. All right, all.
All
This was fun.
All right.
nice way
Thanks
to
so much
kind
for
of end
offering
my
this
day.
space. It was nice to
Oh.
see you guys.
It was good to see you too.
Nice to chat.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
I'll end it for all of us. Good night.